Good evening, people. This is where I'm at with this total mess of my life. I'm on the video that I did a couple of 3 nights ago. This one here. Okay. And yes, blessed YouTube allowed all that commentary. We're going to call her the defendant. Okay? Since we've got to hold court in our own little world. She's the defendant, and I'm the plaintiff. Alright? There is nothing stopping this person from reporting if there was something to report. She proved that by reporting me, which were unsubstantiated. And she did that only after I placed a call on her regarding her actions toward me. Now, I did call down quite a while back, probably more than a year, and ask for that, but I was denied it. So, if I only ask for validation of the date, or just ask for the date it was on, and if they could validate, you know, I don't know how it would work out. I'm still thinking on that one. To prove that I called the police over there. This was my life. Whether people liked it or not, it was the life I was given to live, and they wanted to make a big mess out of it. So they did. Just like with Julie Hardy. I'm glad I asked my mother to go with me to sit through a session with her while at her office. The session was with a co-worker of the same building because my mom was my witness at that point. And I wrote some things that Julie had done to me in the past, up in the margins, in blank spaces between paragraphs, even on the back, and turned it in. Well, because of that, and she trying to cover up um, tried to cover up whatever I was going to say. I'm sitting here looking for a cigarette. And I need to pause. I'll just pause. I'll be right. Okay. She was trying to cover up my report of her by saying that I wasn't at a session. Well, that's where my mother came in handy. Because when I was called about missing an appointment, I handed the phone to my mother, who very quickly, if not abruptly, straightened them out on it. Because I wouldn't let my mom leave me there by myself. This is how they've caused me to react to them. Mother sat through the appointment, and I didn't have to go to a second appointment just so she could hide that paper. I don't know what she did. If they had to fake new answers. or lie. I don't know how they did it. Maybe they just took my answers from the first time and I don't know. Maybe they traced over them. But see, that's not the first thing with her either. Okay? Further back, she was who said that John and I needed to separate for 2 weeks. And he stayed over at our house on Engineer that my mother had bought and charged us low rent, even helped fix it up. And I had to stay here, which really tore me up because we'd already lost a child. When were they going to knock it off? They weren't going to knock it off on their own. They they were on a forward fast track with everything that they did, and they didn't care. So I had to go with that, and it really killed me. And still they don't care. They're stonewall about it. I don't know why. They need investigated, it's what they need. But this failure to report, I reported her. And I called about Karen. Okay? At this point, I think it would be easier to get a file from her than it would be my own medical records because I feel there's something so fishy about some of this that has gone on. But I've been told by different individuals who haven't been here the entirety of the time that I have that things have changed dramatically. But I just don't see it. I see how it just more likely just kind of molded back into the woodwork, into the background. And whether people believe me or not, that's still the same as I always looked at it. It's up to them, which is another killer thing with me. That I'm all the human I can be, but I know there's people around that aren't. They're definitely not all the human they can be. They're more on the monster side of beings than human side. So I did file this report last night and got my case number and password. And I used a lot of this here. I did add right here. Maybe I did it twice since it's showing up. I think I only did it once. Put Sedalia Police Department right there where it's SPD. So they would know. I don't know why they wouldn't want to know. And then I gave a link to that note. I don't know if I can find it now or not. I'd have to, well, this one's easier. I'll go fetch it real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. I really have been mistreated. I've been targeted. I've been retargeted. My spouse has been targeted. They wanted my son the moment they saw him. He was just so darn cute. Big brown eyes, big beautiful smile. Um, I think I just probably rolled right over it. Mishandled is the name of the note I gave them a link to. And a lot of it's because of this note right here that never was answered. This was sent just a few hours, like the evening before the election for that position. And I thought, oh, for sure, surely the guy will give me some sort of answer. Well, think again. That person is very purposeful. Um, that's about all for that. But see, didn't want to answer. Same as before, didn't want to answer. And even after that, I mentioned having not gotten an answer too. So, and then just gave up. They're going to be the haters. We're going to be the ones defending ourselves against it for like forever. So, that's been the way that's gone. I do wish it could change, but so far, no, it can't. Only can wish. I might read a little bit of this, put a voice behind some of this, because I don't understand. The defendant had at age 6 or 7 been capable of reporting a rape crime by a friend of the family, although charges were later dropped. Why wouldn't this same defendant be as capable, if not more so, to report a rape crime at the age of 13 to 14, about twice the age as she was during the first so-called rape crime? No reports were made of the so-called rapist for more than a period of 2 years. Reports were instead made of the so-called rapist's wife. That's me. The reports were unsubstantiated, which I mentioned earlier. The reports were made after the so-called rapist's wife placed a police call on the defendant in the fall of 1993. That's the one I would like to get a hold of, or at least validation of the day that occurred. The specific report was answered by 2 uniformed police officers. The defendant was in full view of the officers and unobstructed, and although able to alert officers to her so-called plight, failed to do so. The officers were there for approximately 15 to 20 minutes, to the best of my recollection. I placed a call later to the SPD asking for a copy, and the report was denied. See, so I'm blocked. The only unblock that I got was when I got the files in 97 from the State Defender's Office, which was probably highly unethical. But maybe she was just to the point too, she just did not care anymore. They're going to send her shoddy work, and you know how that goes. Some people are truly, truly interested in making our laws work. And some people are totally against it and do it just whatever way they want to and send in slop, and slop's what they produce, you know. So this is going to have to go into the next video. Meanwhile, I can sip on my coffee while you maybe get a coffee yourself, because I'm going to be here for a while. Got snow on the ground, and that's where I'm going to stay, is right here where I'm warm.